Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Self-Talk Body Soul channel. Today is a different kind of content to what I normally do. This is something I wanted to trial out for a while, and finally I'm giving it a go. I am doing an interview slash podcast episode, and my guest is an international bodybuilding champion, a fitness expert and coach, and an amazing person that happens to be my sister, Katerina Pavlova. Please join us as we discuss topics of physical health, how it connects to our mental and emotional well-being, eating habits and disorders, and how to stay fit without sacrifice. This is going to be an amazing and deep discussion, and I hope you enjoy it. Katerina, welcome. I just gave a short introduction about who you are, so that our viewers know who I'm talking to. Could you give a little bit of a summary about what you do and how your journey to where you are now as a fitness expert began?
Okay. So my name is Katerina, as you know already, and I am into fitness for about 8 years, and I started just like I think everyone is doing. So I was just going to gym to be fit, to be healthy, and it was like my hobby at first. But then I realized that I want to make some goal in this, not just going there for a couple of times in a week, but to make some bigger goal. And I decided to prepare for a competition, for a fitness bikini competition. And I did it. I found a coach, and we were doing my preparation for about 6 months before my first competition. And when I competed first, I realized that this is really what I like and what I want to continue. And my first competition, it was very successful, I think, because there was about 25 competitors, and I got second place.
Wow.
So it was a success for me, and I really decided that I will continue. So I continued, and in 3 years from the beginning, I became IFBB Pro bikini. So it's a real, I don't know, achievement for me.
For sure.
A real achievement in our sports. So yeah, and from that moment when I became a pro, I decided that I want to be a personal trainer as well, and a fitness coach and a nutritionist and all that stuff. So I started my trainer's journey from that moment. And yeah, it was quite different from the beginning until now, because I was through a lot of experience, and I tried a lot of things on my own, I mean, about eating, about training, about everything. And if I'm looking back from where I started and now, it's like two different people,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Even your location changed as well. So you started in Latvia, now you live in Spain, and it's a very different dynamic, isn't it, in both countries?
Yeah, it's completely different. And but I think that, I don't know, I was like gaining experience from all the countries that I was communicating to. It was American fitness coaches and trainers, it was Europeans, it was Russian, it was all, and I just took what I really feel that it will help me from everyone. And yeah.
Yeah. So now you mostly help, you sort of paused your athletic career in bodybuilding, but you're still continuing to train people and coach individuals. So who would you say is your sort of general client right now? What sort of people come to you for help?
Right now, and I think it was always like this. So my clients are like, I never had people with kind of big level of obesity, or how can I say that? Yeah, because people, when they are choosing a coach, they are looking at him and they are like, well, she knows my situation, or she doesn't know my situation, she cannot help me. And as I never had a lot of excess weight in my own body. I never had clients like with obesity, but my clients are mostly girls who are in a normal shape, but they are not satisfied anyway, you know. So it's like ordinary girl, but she wants to be like, I don't know, perfect.
Perfect. It's interesting. Yeah.
So and mostly they have problems not with their bodies but with their mentality about, I don't know, attitude for food and for their bodies. So they want to be perfect, and they have eating disorders and a lot of problems with that, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and I actually wrote down your Instagram tag. It says building dream bodies and healing eating disorders, and it's interesting that it's sort of in one place. Yeah, that's kind of relates to what you just said. So how do you? Because obviously they don't come to you and say, "Hi, Katerina, I have an eating disorder. Can you help me with it?" You discover it as you go. Yeah.
Most of the times they don't even realize they have eating disorder. They tell me that I have, for example, I have addiction for sugar, or I think I have addiction to that kind of food, or I have a lot of addictions, you know, about food, but it's not addiction. We cannot be addicted to something that we essentially need in our life. We cannot be addicted to air. We just need to breathe. This is about food, you know, also, because we cannot be addicted to food because we need food.
Yeah. So what do you say when people say they're addicted to sugar? Because obviously you can live without excess sugar, but some people feel like they, as you say, need it. So where does that come from?
About speaking about sugar, it's like it's very close to me because I was addicted to sugar all my life, you know. And
I know.
yeah, you know.
My birthday cake would disappear very quickly, not because I ate it.
So I was addicted to sugar all my life, and I was struggling because I was just, you know, thinking that it's unhealthy for me. It will ruin my body. It will ruin my health, etc. But in one moment, I realized that not all the people are addicted to sugar. It's something about me or people like me. And I was like investigating what is common in all of us. And I was like, it's a very high level of anxiety,
Right.
and really a very big need of care and security. Because when I realized when I'm eating sugar, I feel secure, I feel warm, I feel like protected, I feel more calm. And I was realizing that when I am eating sugar in a big amounts of sugar, I feel very sleepy, I feel calm. And if I feel like I cannot sleep this night, I have to eat a lot of sugar. And I am going to bed and I'm sleeping.
Wow.
And, you know, it's like a total protection and security and calmness. And it's all about psyche. It's not about body.
And what I found, I just kind of, when you were saying all of that, I realized that usually when people are obese, when they are, you know, overweight, they also tend to eat a lot of sugar and a lot of different stuff, you know. But it's all, and I think the reason for them is the same as for you, like you eat for the same reason. But for you, you are such a perfectionist and you can't allow your body to get fat. or overweight. So it's the same process that happens for you as for the people who are overweight, but you contain yourself and you say, I can't get to that size, and so you have this like counterproductive anxiety, I need sugar, but I also can't get fat. So it's really interesting.
I had that for a long period of time, and you know that as well.
I have it too somewhat. Yeah.
And for example, I have clients who are they are overweight, overweight, and and they are eating sugar, but they are not like afraid like I am to become bigger or to gain weight. Yes, and they are just gaining that weight, but I have anxiety about this theme as well, so I am afraid of ruining my body, and a long period of time it was like this, that I was eating sugar and then I was training very, very hard not to gain weight. But then I realized that I was really gaining weight because I was eating, and I was thinking in that moment when I'm eating that, I was thinking that I will become fat, I will become bigger, I will become ugly or something, and these thoughts were like, I don't know, it's like a magic or something. They were doing their job. They were like, okay, okay, I will do this, you will become fat, or you will become unhealthy or something, Then I realized that it doesn't make any sense. If I'm already eating it, I have to eat it with pleasure. I have to eat it with understanding that it really helps my psyche at the moment. It really helps me. If I need it, if it really calms me down, I have to take it as medicine, or something like that. So I was like changing step by step, very small steps, but I was doing them to change my attitude to this sugar. And I was like, it's a medicine. I'm really helping myself right now. But those people who are overweight and they are eating, they are just, it's pity, but they really hate themselves. And they are eating and thinking mostly, okay, let it be. I will be fat. Okay. I will be ugly. Okay. I will be disgusting to myself. Okay.
They think so bad about the food and themselves that they eat, isn't it? So yeah. Very, yeah. It's interesting. So it kind of crosses over almost into sort of spirituality realm, where, because I remember some of our spiritual teachers saying that food isn't just about the physical and the body. Food is so much more about what is happening on the inside, and not internal organs, but internal subconscious, and why we're attracted to certain foods and things like that. That's interesting. And especially our visceral coach, she told about the combination of fat and sugar, and that in nature the only source of that is mother's breast milk. There's no fruit that has both fat and sugar in high contents, no meat, nothing like that. And so that in itself, and everything that we eat now when we binge is like biscuits and cake and ice cream. It's all fat and sugar. Yeah.
And there is a theory as well about fatty and sugary food, that people who are really craving this food, they are really lacking of mother's love. And people who are craving for salty food, they are lacking of father's love.
Wow.
And it's like, yeah, and I realized that in my life, I can see examples that it really is like that. When people are saying to me, I don't like sweets, but I really like chips and I really like salty snacks, etc. I cannot just hold, I need to eat them. And when I'm speaking to a person, I really see that there was no father in their lives. Speaking about me, it really matches.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know about the salt as well. That's really cool. Yeah. I was going to ask about, so obviously you said about that contrast of wanting to eat and then having to do a lot of exercise because you didn't want to gain weight. And I remember when you were still training for your bodybuilding competitions, you really started to see that in other competitors and other athletes as well. And you sort of started seeing that it's actually kind of overarching over all athletes, this problem of food. What was your experience of that?
Yeah, speaking about bodybuilding and bodybuilders, it is nothing about health. It's not about health at all. Not mental, not physical. It's kind of really rough sphere, and yeah, I saw girls, mostly I was communicating with girls who are competing as well. And it was like when we have competition season, you are very lean, you are training a lot, you are eating really clean, as they say. So it mostly chicken breast and veggies and
or 40 eggs a day.
yeah, eggs. And so yeah, it's all about protein, like fiber and something else that you really just need for your body, not what you like or not what you really feel that you are good about this food. You just need to eat something that works. So when it's competition season, we are just eating and training, and we are not even trying to feel how we feel. We are just doing like machines, we are working like machines. And after competition season, we just let all go,
Right.
So we are just starting to eat. We're starting to eat everything that we were not allowed to eat when we were preparing for a competition. And as we were lacking it a lot of time, we are eating, so we are binging, we're really binging it. And a lot of girls are gaining 15, 20 kilos in 2-3 months. And it's really dangerous for health. It's really dangerous because it's very fast gain of weight. And speaking about me, I was gaining, I think, 8 kilos. It was my maximum. And I was feeling like I'm really dying because I felt like I'm growing and growing and growing so fast. And I felt so big pressure inside of me. It was so unhealthy. So what I see, all the girls are really gaining a lot of weight. And it is because inside of their heads are, this food is allowed only now. And after I start new competition, new preparation for a competition, I am not allowed again, So I have to eat everything I can now. And this is like a very big step into eating disorder, because after you are feeling, oh no, I gained fat, I need to become lean again. And you are starting cut everything again. So you're cutting your food, you are training a lot. And this cycle just repeats and repeats. You are eating, you are overeating, you are binging, and then you're cutting everything, etc. And a lot of girls, they just cannot get out of this circle. I got out because I realized I don't want to live like this all my life. And it was a hard journey, but step by step, as I said, I just realized that I just have to calm down. And if I need to eat a lot right now, I will just eat and I will not go to a workout after. I will do differently to break this cycle. I have to act differently. But a lot of girls are so afraid that they cannot.
I remember, yes, I remember you already started getting much better with your eating disorder, and I was still struggling with my own stuff. And I remember you said this one thing that was like, wow, that's really true. I can't remember how you said it exactly, but it was something like, we worry about the thing that is meant to keep us alive. Like food is meant to keep us alive and keep us happy, vital, bring us energy. And we constantly worry about it. It's so energy draining. And that was like, wow, like, why is it why is that the case for so many people as well, not just individuals? I think probably everyone at some point in their life had some kind of food struggle, you know, at some stage. I feel like nobody has ever not had anything to do with food. Yeah, very interesting.
It's like the same if you were worrying about the air. Did I breathe out?
Exactly.
So it's a nonsense. It's so essential, like breathing.
Yeah.
You are breathing all the time and you're not thinking about it.
Yeah, it's like thinking, you're breathing too much right now. Don't breathe.
Don't breathe. Just hold your breath. Or, you know, it's like you are breathing in when your body needs air, and you just breathe in and you breathe out to make a new breath in, you know.
Yeah.
So it's so natural. And about food, speaking about food, you just have to eat when you're hungry. And the problem is that we are so disconnected to our bodies that we don't realize, am I really hungry now? Or what is hunger at all? How does it feel? Do I have to feel like starving all the time? Or if I feel starving, is it hunger or is it some emotional thing? We are so confused right now. We don't really understand what is hunger and when and what do I have to eat.
That's very true. Yes.
We have a lot of rules from Instagram, from internet, from all the stuff. Don't eat this instead of this, eat in that time, eat 5 times a day, or eat once a day, or don't eat fast. Don't
so much stuff.
Yeah. And when we are born, for example, when a person is born, he knows exactly what he needs. But parents and society and everything just makes him unlearn everything.
Yeah.
We are thinking that we are learning children, but we are just breaking the system. We are just breaking everything he knew.
Yeah.
So it's very complicated.
Yeah, I think that's sort of a part in a childhood. I know many people don't like to, you know, go into like childhood stuff, but it really kind of starts there. And I think when people have these problems, the first place they need to look at is, what was my relationship with food when I was 5 years old, 7 years old? You know, what was the messages I kept receiving, you know, around food? Because I think a lot of answers will be found there. And I think for girls, especially because of the way girls are brought up and are just, I think, hormonal as well. For us during our teenage years, it makes so much pressure for us, you know, to look a certain way. And I think it's not even society. I think it's just inbuilt in us partially as well, you know, to be like others, to fit in and be liked, you know. And I think that has so much effect as well on how we then treat our bodies and how much we eat and things like that.
Yeah. Speaking about children as well, about eating habits, etc. Yeah, I was speaking to one person recently, and he has a small child. She's about 6 years old, and he was like, I am learning from her, because I'm just putting a lot of food on the table, and I'm just observing what is she doing every single day. And one day she can eat only meat all the day. I want meat, I want meat, I want meat. The second day she can eat only fruits and vegetables. Next day she doesn't want to eat next day at all. She just drinks. And he's like, I'm not pushing or pressing, I'm just observing. Oh wow, she just feels herself, and she's in a good health, she's in a good mood, she feels amazing, you know. And he's like, I realized that she came from God and she knows everything, and I want to learn from her.
Wow. That's amazing.
So I wanted to mention 2 main reasons that I have in my practice. Why do people overeat? Why do people binge? So first one is, for example, let's have an example of a woman who is really overwhelmed, overstressed. She's working a lot. She has kids. She has bad relationships with her husband or partner, for example. And she's struggling a lot because she feels lonely, she feels abandoned, and she feels like she has to do everything on her own. And she's eating a lot because her body needs to be bigger to handle all this stuff, you know. She's not eating because she wants to or because she's weak. No, on the opposite, she's very strong and she's carrying so much weight. And if she's like thin like me, for example, she cannot handle it physically. And she has to be bigger and bigger and bigger to manage all this stuff, you know?
Wow.
It's really like, it's logical, because if she is very small, she cannot do a lot of things. This is first. So the first step to avoid binging, she has to just, I don't know, to make her freer, you know, or how can I say it? She just have to, for example, if she's working, she's doing 2 jobs, for example, she has to quit one. And it will become like she's eating less in that really moment. She will eat less.
Yeah.
And it will not be like, I have to eat less. No, she's just feeling a little bit more free, a little bit more relaxed, and she doesn't need that food anymore.
Yeah.
This is the really example that was in my practice, and it really works. Like, I am saying to a woman, to a girl, just all your responsibilities, just erase some from your life, you know. And she's like, okay, I will. And she's like, I'm eating less now because I don't feel like I need to, because I feel more relaxed, you know. So this is first thing. And the other one, when we feel really empty inside, what I mean is, like, we don't have any emotions that are fulfilling us. We are fulfilling ourselves physically. Another example, one girl, I was working with her, and she was like, I'm eating only in evenings, for example. I'm binging in evenings. So when I'm working during the daytime, when I'm going to dancing, she was doing dancing, it was her hobby, I feel good. But when I go home, when I return home, I feel like I just want to sit on the couch and I want to eat. Because and I was speaking to her, and I was like, imagine if you're traveling, for example, in a new country, you're doing new things, you are seeing new people, you are experiencing something new. Do you feel the same, that in the evening you want just to binge? She's, no, I have never this on my travel, for example. And she was like, okay, I just need to think, how can I fulfill my evening emotionally, not to binge anymore? And she was starting to draw. She was starting drawing, and she was like, yes, sometimes I do feel like I need to eat something extra, you know, but mostly I know that my evening is time when I feel happy, you know. She knows that she has her table when she has paper and pencils and something, and she just starts drawing, and she's like, yeah, I am eating, but only because my body wants to, and I feel emotionally okay. So we are fulfilling ourselves with food.
Yeah, it reminds me. Yeah, it reminds me when I used to do some fastings, and there was one time when I did, I think it was like 92 hours or something, and it was juice fast. So I wasn't starving, but I was just drinking juices, and like vegetable juices. And I remember, and it was actually quite easy. Like, usually fast can be quite difficult, but that one was pretty, like, it was okay for me to do it. And so I kept going, you know, I did 1 day, 2 days, I was like, I'll keep going. But what I noticed is that most of the time I didn't feel hungry. Like, if I felt a bit hungry, I would drink juice and I was fine. But what most of the time, my mind would still go to food. It would be like getting anxious because I was like, but I haven't eaten for so long. Oh, but I need to eat. I need to make dinner. And I realized some of it was because I was bored. Like, there was nothing else to do, you know? Yeah. So it was like, That's interesting. And so I think fasting can really help. I mean, I don't recommend it for people who have eating disorders. It can be quite difficult. But if you can, like, fasting can be so interesting to explore that relationship with food, because in that state of hunger, you can really see where is your mind going when you're not allowing yourself to eat. When you said, I'm going to not eat for 36 hours or 24 hours, however long. And where does the mind go, and what sort of programs come up? Oh, it's really, really interesting. Yeah. And that one find that I had is, I was eating a lot of the time because I was bored, not because I actually needed to eat. It was really crazy.
Yeah, speaking about fasting and eating disorders, it can be quite dangerous if you are doing it, because people with eating disorders are mostly doing fasting to lose some weight. And if you are doing, if you have eating disorder and if you decide, I want to do fasting, and you realize that you are doing it from that point of, I want to lose weight, you don't have to do it. You will make it worse. You will really make it worse. But if you really want to experience that, you have to say to yourself, I want to explore my feelings, and I will start fasting. And if I will, the morning when I wake up and I start my fasting, and if I feel that like in the evening I really want to eat, I will allow myself to eat. I will explore all these hours, all my emotions, all my feelings. But if I feel like I really want to eat, I really need to eat, I will eat. And if you allow yourself to do it more free, if you don't have these, limitations that I really have to do that much hours or that much days, it's hard and it's dangerous. But if you just go to explore, if you really feel that you need to eat, you are eating, and you are not punishing yourself for eating for your weakness. It's not weakness, it's your choice to explore. But if you feel that you need to stop, you are stopping.
Yeah.
It.
I remember even after that 3.5, however long it was, day fast with the juices, because I think my intention was to do a week, but I've done like 4 days, which is a hell of a lot. And yet when I was coming out, I felt guilty. I was like, oh, I didn't finish that thing. And that's really interesting, because what you're describing is like, instead of setting a goal, set an intention. So it's like, my intention, I'm going to explore, and there's ease to these words. There's a feeling of ease. Whereas to say, I'm going to do a 7-day fast is like a goal, and it's like forced and very restricted.
And you feel exhausted in first hour,
because of your mind, because it's like, I need to go, I need to do 7 days. And then you have so many fears, like, what if I'm going to struggle on day 4, 3, 5, 2, like, and then your brain is really just, as you're getting tired, and you're just exhausted, and you're in pain, like stomach pain and everything.
And you're like, oh, I'm dying already. I was doing fasting 4 hours already.
Exactly. But I also, but what's interesting is that, I had the goal 7 days. Why? Like, what was the actual reason for my goal? I didn't know. It was just like, challenge. What for? Yeah.
My last experience of fasting was quite interesting as well, because I was like, I want to just make a break for my digestion, and I was like, I will do as much hours as I feel good, and it was like, I was in 20 hours, I was like feeling I really want to eat already, and I was like, maybe I will do 1 hour more, and then I will eat. I will try to. I will think maybe half an hour, maybe an hour, and it was like I did 5 more hours like this, because I feel okay. I can do half an hour more or 1 hour more, and it was like 1 hour more, 1 hour more. So I did about 26 hours fasting, and it was very easy. It wasn't like, oh, I have to wait 5 hours more to eat. No, I can eat now, but I can explore more.
Yeah, it's like giving your brain the option of choice, and it makes it just so much easier, rather than, I think, the whole problem is almost like it's around restriction, it's like you can't, yes you can, you can't, you can, whereas if you bring that ease to the question, it just makes it so much better, isn't it?
Speaking about restrictions, it's like restriction is a devil. It's so dangerous, because I was reading a book once about eating disorder, and I realized that I found one really useful key there. Author was speaking about that if you feel like you are eating a lot of sugar and you are always restricting yourself, you are not allowing yourself, but your eating disorder is stronger than you always, and you are eating anyways. So speaking about me, I was like restricting myself. I was not allowing myself to eat any sweets, and when I was like breaking down, I was going to supermarket and I was buying several amount of sweet food. For example, I was buying, I don't know, 2 croissants or 2 chocolate bars or something, and it was amount that I was allowing myself to eat during my binge.
Apologies for a small break, guys, in the video. At this point, I just wanted to remind you that all the information that is presented in this dialogue, in this interview with Kate, is for entertainment purposes only, and none of it is medical advice. If you're struggling with eating disorders, you need to seek professional, individual advice. The information that Kate is about to disclose that she has taken from the book has helped her because she came from a specific background, specific circumstances. It may not help everyone, and most certainly some people will definitely feel worse from it. So please take all online resources with caution, with a grain of salt and safety. If you are in the position to, again, seek individual help, please do that. That's the best thing you can do for yourself in this situation. Now I will continue the interview. Enjoy.
And the key was that you have to buy all that is possible. You have to buy a lot of sweets, and you have to put them everywhere in your house, and you have to know that they are unlimited and you can eat them anytime. And it was so scary at first for me. I was like, I will eat everything and I will feel very sick, very bad, because I cannot stop. But then I realized that, yes, first days I was eating a lot. First weeks, maybe.
Every sweet you noticed, there's like, oh yes.
Yeah. And it was like, I have all these sweets. I want to eat them all. I cannot stop until they finish. But when I see that they are start to finish, I buy more and more and more. They are always plenty of sweet food. And the key is that if you don't have limitation, you will, for example, if you buy 3 donuts, you know that you will eat them all. But if you have 50 donuts, you cannot physically eat them all. So there is a trick that you eat as much as your body needs, and you know that you can eat it every time, when you want it.
Yeah, you won't run out.
Yeah, you're not going to run out of them. And it's a really useful tip, but it's very scary for first, but this really helped me. And now, for example, if I'm thinking about me 4 years ago, for example, I cannot imagine that in my house there are croissants all days, or Nutella or some chocolates or something. I was thinking about that. Oh no, it's dangerous food. I will eat it. Now I have croissants always, Nutella and chocolate bars and everything, and I'm not thinking about them anymore like I was. And if I feel like I want some croissant, I will eat one, not all the pack, because I know that I always have them.
Yeah, it's like, again, I just thought it's like with air. There's always air. We don't need to think, there's like so little air. I need to like conserve how much I'm breathing in right now, and then like slowly eat it out, breathe it out, and then slowly breathe it in. And it's like little by little, like you don't think about it because there's always enough air, and it's kind of
available, and you just have how much your body needs.
Yeah. And it's interesting. You said, your eating disorder is always stronger than you, and it's almost like it's a fight of our natural instincts with our stupid brains that keep putting these like boxes, like the instinct into boxes, based on all different things, trauma and social upbringing and all sorts of things, hormonal stuff.
Yeah. As I always say, your body is not a fool. You are, because when you are like, I'm on my diet and I will eat only vegetables and I will just cut all bad food, etc. And you are eating like this, for example, 3-5 days, maybe a week. And then you feel that pressure that you want that croissant, you want it, but you are not allowed. And then you eat a whole pack because your body is not a fool. It will have what it needs.
It caught up on all the croissants that you didn't let it have.
I'm counting what you owe me.
Yeah. It's like a strict parent. 1, 2, 3. I'm having them all.
Waiting. Exactly. And you can analyze that it really happens like this. Wow. But if you have an impulse to eat one croissant and you're like, I want it, and you eat it, and in 1 week you are not even thinking about it anymore.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah,
your body is not a fool.
Definitely.
You will always get what it wants and what it needs.
Yeah. One question that kind of comes up is what would you say means to be healthy? When somebody, because I have these arguments with people, because again, I have my own like formula for what it means to be healthy. But then for certain people, they say, well, I don't smoke, I don't drink, that means I'm healthy. Other people is, I'm doing 3 times a week gym, like that means I'm healthy. So like, what would you say actually means to be healthy, in your experience and experience of your clients?
Well, for me, to be healthy is to be like aligned, is a correct word. Like when you feel good in all aspects. For example, if you really need and want to drink water or coffee or tea or beer or something, you are doing it. You are listening to signals that your body is giving to you, and you are doing that. So you are totally you're connected to your body. And we are so different. And for one person really to be healthy and to feel healthy will be drinking 1 liter of water a day, doing yoga every day, and breathing fresh air every day, and eating only vegetables. And it will be completely fine, because that person doesn't want to eat something extra, doesn't want to go to a bar or drink some alcohol, doesn't want to go to a party. This is the perfect life for him. Yeah, he sleeps good, he's feeling good. For other person, doing 2 workouts a week and going to some party every weekend and working in the office and having fresh air once a week only, this is perfect, because all the excess healthy stuff will be like struggle for him. And people feel like I hate it. It's not for me, and it will be unhealthy. Healthy will be for him to drink 2 liters of beer every weekend, but then to feel happy. I feel good. This is to be healthy, and sometimes there is a thing that a person is saying, for example, I'm good about drinking every weekend, but he really feels bad physically, because when he wakes up, he's feeling broken. He's feeling a lack of energy. And these are signals of a body, because his mind thinks that, I feel good, but his body is showing like he's losing hair.
That's the no alignment that you mentioned.
Not alignment, really. And if he's looking really good, he's feeling full of energy, he's like, oh, I want to live, this is alignment. But if he's saying, I'm good about smoking or drinking, but he looks very bad and feels very bad, this is not alignment. So every one of us has to be aligned on their own. And we all have our own program how to live,
Yeah. So it's almost like, because you often say in I know in your posts online, and in general, I know you kind of have this motto, I guess, to be fit without sacrifice, and I guess that's what it means. It's like, I guess the only sacrifice that you can talk about, which is not really sacrifice, it's having that discipline to say, this is, part of me wants to smoke, but actually it's not good for me. And that's the only really sacrifice that you can talk about, but really still doing everything that actually makes you happy and healthy, isn't it?
Yeah. This is really about the balance. Again, for example, about smoking. If I really like to smoke, and I understand that if I'm smoking, for example, once or two times a week, I feel good emotionally, but my body doesn't have any bad effects. This is a good balance. I'm aligned again. I want to smoke, but my body doesn't need it more than twice a week, for example. Or about drinking alcohol or something, and about being fit without sacrifice as well. For example, for me to stay fit, I really need to move. If I don't move, I feel bad physically and mentally. I'm the kind of person that needs to move. It's from the very childhood, and other people are struggling. They don't want to do exercises like all the trainers say. You have to run, you have to jump, you have to squat, you have to, I don't know, do lunges and everything.
And you're like, oh my god, it's too much, I don't want to do it. Sorry, coach, I'm not well today.
I'm not well, and the thing is that all my clients that I'm working with, I'm trying to explore every person, and for one person, I'm just walking around in the gym, and it's okay. It's okay because they feel that they are doing exercises, they are moving, but they are still speaking to me, and they are like spending good time, and they feel more healthy, they feel energized. And some people, for example, when we are starting to do longer breaks, for example, between exercises, they feel bad, they need to move, they need to do, and I'm just like, oh, I'm tired already, how are you doing it? But they are different, and for example, for me, I really like walking, I really like hiking, and if it's winter, if it's snow, if it's rain, I really like to walk still. But some people don't want to go out. They want to stretch, for example, at home. They want to do some yoga. They want to do something different, and it's good. We don't have to do everything that is like a rule. There are no rules.
I think that's what makes you a really good coach, because I know that even from not fitness, but like different programs that I have bought in the past, or courses that I've done, like the thing that makes someone a good coach or a good trainer or something is that alignment with the client, and with, it's not, because usually people just kind of do like a template, they just do everything for the same person, like they do the same thing for every person, and it feels like you really tune into everyone separately.
The thing is that a person is coming to me, for example, a new person is coming to me, and we start to work, and I see that that person doesn't need rough exercises, doesn't need strict diet, and I'm doing it very mild, in a mild way, and they are like, why are we not jumping? Why am I eating my favorite food? Why? There will be no result. And I'm just like, you were doing everything strict in the past. Do you have the result? No. You have to do something differently. You didn't have the result when you were doing strictly. It doesn't work for you. You have to do mild. You have to change some aspects. For example, eating not 2 ice creams, but 1 ice cream and 1 apple. You will still feel satisfied, but you will have very soft transformation, And you don't have to do 100 jumps. You don't have to do this all. You just jump 2 times and then you walk. And it will be a very soft transformation, but it will work for you in the long term. You will stay that way, you know. Won't be roller coaster like ups and downs.
Yeah, it's like we have a culture of just constantly pushing, and you're bringing that ease into very much a very strict and pushy environment, you know, which is fitness. You know, fitness is like you have to do all this stuff and like not feel. I feel like that's kind of a big thing in fitness. Like, don't feel, just do it. Yeah, and I think you're kind of bringing it around and saying it doesn't work.
Yeah, if it works for you, do it. Why do you need me? Do it. You know how to do it.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I would ask, I think that's the last thing I would ask, if you had one, last but not least, yeah, definitely. If you had one message for anyone listening today, you know, anything that's in your heart, you know, that you feel like, you know, it would really like for people to know this thing, you know, what would it be? You can take a minute to feel into it.
Okay. It's obvious and it's on the surface. I think it's just be kind to yourself. Don't punish yourself. Feel yourself, because we are so strict to ourselves, and we are so disconnected, and this is the source of all our problems. We have to be kind to ourselves, and don't punish ourselves. This is the thing that I learned. If you punish yourself, you go just deeper into the hole, you know. You just have to love yourself. This is very like classy, you know. I don't know how to say that.
I get.
And it's not about like if it's hard for you to think about how to love yourself, just don't punish yourself. Be a little bit kinder, you know. And the other message, maybe, and it really helped a lot of people, and it really helped to me. Imagine when you have some breakdown, or when you want to binge, or when you have some fail in your life. Imagine that your child is coming to you, and your child is feeling very bad. He's crying, or he really wants to eat some junk food, or he really wants to lay down and cry, or he really wants to do nothing. Will you still push it to do something? Will you not allow it to eat all the junk food in the world? You will allow it, and you will just be close to that child, and you will just kiss or hug your child, you know, and you will just stay with the child as much as he needs you, and be that kind to yourself.
To give that presence to the parts of you that are feeling like lonely, or
you will never punish your child to be weak, for being weak. You will not punish it. You will give it love as much as you can. So give it to yourself, just the way you would give it to your child.
No, that's very true. Well, thank you very much, Katerina. This was an amazing conversation. If people want to find you, how can they do it? Where can they do it?
Well, I am available on Instagram or on Facebook. I think we can attach some links, or
I'll put some links down below. Yes. Well, thank you very much. This was an amazing conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this conversation with Kate, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with anyone who you think might benefit from the message of this episode. Leave a comment down below to let me know if you had any insights during this conversation, if you have any questions, feedback, if you want to share your experience, anything at all. It's all welcome. I would love to hear from you. And until next time.